there's a site called Virtual Trials, which I found a number of years ago, and it is by far the most comprehensive resource for brain tumors. And the gentleman who runs it, Al Musella, is very much involved in the whole brain tumor community. He's worked a lot worked with other brain tumor organizations. He's worked with Medicare, with um, the FDA in terms of the whole process for getting drugs approved in this country needs to be improved because it can take so long for a drug to go through all of the trials and then get to where it can be used. And with the money involved, lots of those drugs maybe don't make it to the marketplace, where some of them could be used earlier if there was a different protocol for testing them. But on that website, you'll find all kinds of information. There are support groups. There's support groups on Facebook. There's a number of different places like that that people can go to find other people dealing with this. Now, I don't give advice. I'm not going to say, well, this is what you should do or shouldn't do. What I try and do is give them information to say, think about this, think about that. I tell them about my experience was on my second surgery, I had something called gliadel. And I won't go into all the reasons, but it's not always used or recommended when maybe it could be. Part of it is because it has to be used as part of a surgery because it's implanted in the brain and it has chemo in it. The other one that's relatively new is Optune. And again, that's always want to make sure, did your doctors offer that as an option? I'm not saying they have to or that you need to use it, but you at least need to be aware it's a possibility for you. And again, that's part of why I try and provide information is, like you suggested, maybe, did you ask your doctor about this? Did you ask him about that? Lots of times, one of the things people should think about is, should you go get a second opinion? That's not to say nothing about the particular hospital you're at or the doctors you're working with, but sometimes different places have different philosophies, different ways that they approach things, especially if it's a place that specializes in brain tumors, especially in my case, a GBM. And my third surgery was at UCSF. Mitch Berger is a neurosurgeon. That's his specialty. That's what he does research in. I remember asking him after my surgery, I said, if I have to have a surgery again, can I have one? And he said yes. So that was a comfort to know if this did recur, what's my treatment option? So again, that's one thing I encourage people is make sure you find a doctor that you feel like really works for you. And that's not, like I said, that's not a criticism of the doctor, but this is your life. You need to make sure that you're doing what you think is best for you, that you don't want to look back and say, oh, maybe I should have done this or that. So there's no regrets, no doubts about what you're doing.